Greetings and salutations, my fellow gamers. My name's AFarCryAway, and today I have some exciting news. Sam Fisher's back. Yeah. It's been a few years since we last seen him in Splinter Cell... Convention? Convention? I meant conviction, but yeah, you know what I'm getting at. It's been a while since Michael Ironside's been in the voice acting booth for Sam Fisher, and man, am I happy he's back. Now, we've only gotten a little bit of a tease, and I'll show that to you guys about right now.
Matchwood, this is Paladin. Come in.
Go for Matchwood.
Langley has sprung a leak, and they need us to stick our thumb in it. Brush up on your Spanish. You're headed for Bolivia.
Look, I may need some extra firepower.
Got any ideas?
I've got friends in that neighborhood. Call the Ghost.
So what you guys just watched was a Ghost Recon Year 2, DLC announcement. So what it's going to be is like an event where hopefully Sam Fisher is working with the ghosts. So that's pretty neat, but it really got me excited for the possibility of a new Splinter Cell game, because oh my goodness gracious, we really need a good Splinter Cell game. Even if it doesn't sell well, I really want them to go back to their roots, because there's so many things that make Splinter Cell great. There's actually a really big difference between classic Splinter Cell games and the more modern era Splinter Cells. For example, in the newer ones, you're basically John Wick. You can mark and execute targets, pull some snazzy moves, you have tons of equipment you can bring with you, and I actually really like those games. I think Conviction as well as Blacklist are really fun, and I've put countless hours into both of those games. However, going back, I just feel like Chaos Theory is just such a better game overall. There's a lot more player interactivity with it, and not in terms of game mechanics. Sure, it's numerically less to do in Chaos Theory, for example. There's not as many inputs and there's not as many gadgets, but each thing feels like a tool that you have to use to the fullest. And everything is very hands-on. When you're lockpicking, you don't just hit lockpick, your guy does it and he goes in the door like in the newer ones. You actually have to pick the lock yourself, which means rotating the analog stick or pressing the arrows in the right direction. And every time you hack something, you don't just look at it and go hack and then it's complete. You actually have to go in there, find a numerical sequence, break the code, and then get into the thing yourself. So there's a lot more interactivity with the older games, and therefore it actually has more of an authentic kind of feel to it, like the older Tom Clancy titles did. For example, Rainbow Six was always meant to be a very tactical shooter with very real consequences, in that there's permadeath for your squad members throughout the campaign, as well as, ballistic physics and all of that stuff was added in as time progressed with the series, and it was very much a grounded series, and it was meant to be realistic and gritty. And Splinter Cell definitely fits into the same mold, however it has kind of like a James Bond twist on it. Sam Fisher is pretty much a badass, and he always will be, and Michael Ironside's voice acting really sells it, and I know we're not officially, seeing a new announced Splinter Cell, but just the hype is unreal for me. Michael Ironside's what's complete, he completes the character, and the new guy that they got for him for the last game, Blacklist, he was alright. I respect his work, I think he didn't do a bad job, but it's just not the same, and when you replace your major main character voice actor, it really just feels uncanny. And just real quick to go back into some of these things I would like for the new Splinter Cell game to have, pretty much this list is all things that the older games had that were really important then, that I wish that they would make very important again. For example, the sound and visibility meters. Those need to return. I really like how much input that gives you as the player. You actually can see how loud you're being and how much visibility there is on you. I know a lot of people back in the day didn't have a very good TV or very good sound systems, so having that kind of information was super important back then, but I still think it has a place now. I also miss being able to pick up and throw things. I know that's a really tiny thing, but in a stealth game, being able to distract guards is like your #1 thing. And with all the newer games, you had all this equipment that was like sound makers and high-tech stuff. But honestly, I think Sam Fisher's at his best when he's using low-tech. You know, he doesn't always have to rely on gadgets to get the job done. You can throw bricks at people in the head and knock them out, or you can throw bottles and distract them long enough to get behind them and interrogate them. That kind of stuff I really miss. I also miss that easy to understand but hard to master mechanic of just staying, like invisible in the shadows. You know, creeping behind guards, making sure you're going at a certain pace as you're following closer and closer behind them. There's a lot of intricate parts moving in Splinter Cell, and I just think, like, the newer ones really do simplify a lot of it. You can pretty much sprint behind guards in Blacklist, so yeah. Also, I really miss the lethal with consequences game mechanic in terms of, yes, you can go, kill everybody except for mission critical targets and whatnot, but it's so hard to do. It's really, really, really hard to just take everyone out, unless you're using the sticky shockers, I guess. But even then, it can be a pain. And there's, like, always a consequence for messing that kind of stuff up in the older games, whereas in the newer ones you can kind of shoot your way out. But more importantly than anything else, I miss the funny guard dialogue. Holy shit, like, the guard dialogue was some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard in a video game. Sam Fisher interrogating people, choking them out after they say a thing, it's just too funny.
Alright, I don't know who you are, but this is private property.
What are you talking about? I've been working here for 2 years.
Prove it.
Prove it? Okay. Well, the key code to the back doors, Hey, wait a minute. You're trying to trick me. You're the one who's not supposed to be here.
Alright, you caught me. I surrender. Oh, wait. Instead, how about you tell me the key code anyway, and I won't be forced to hurt you?
Oh, well, since you put it that way, the code is 3901.
Thanks.
I'm not afraid of you. Okay, I'm afraid.
Alright, so that's pretty much everything I'd like to see in a new Splinter Cell, as well as the announcement that Michael Ironside's back. I'm really happy about it. I hope you guys are too. Let me know what you guys want to see in a future Splinter Cell title, if we get one. And what are you guys looking forward to with this event? Do you own Ghost Recon Wildlands? Do you think this will be cool? Do you think it'll be kind of tacked on? I honestly thought the Alien, or the Predator DLC add-on was cool, but it was just like a half a mission. It wasn't really anything like super crazy. But, it was a neat idea, and I'm glad they did it, but hopefully this is a little bit better than that. Alright everyone, if you liked the video, feel free to leave it a like, and maybe even subscribe for more Splinter Cell content in the future. Talk to you guys later. Peace out.